This is Beantown Fantasy Football Week 4 Wide Receiver Edition. Let's start off with Mark Fury. Who are your starting wide receivers going into Week 4? Who should the fans start?
I'm starting Santonio Holmes this week against the San Diego Chargers.
Oh my.
I expect him to bounce back from his one-catch, 18-yard performance last week. He's going against a weak San Diego secondary, and Pittsburgh has an inconsistent running game with not so fast Willie Parker and Mendenhall, who's still young. He's kind of inconsistent. I look for him to put the ball in Ben Roethlisberger's hands and let him throw it around. You know, Santonio Holmes is going to be on the other end of a lot of those passes.
All right, who's your second wide receiver this weekend?
My second wide receiver is the other Steve Smith, who looks like he's in position to become the Steve Smith. Of course, I'm talking about the one from the New York Football Giants. He's emerged as Eli Manning's go-to guy. He's their possession guy. He can move the chains. They look to him in the red zone. I expect 80 to 100 yards and probably a score this week.
I like it.
I like it too.
Great suggestion.
Who are you sitting?
Well, call me crazy, but I'm sitting Andre Johnson against the Oakland Raiders. Well, last year when he faced the Raiders, Nnamdi Asomugha shut him down like he did to everyone else. 2 catches, 19 yards. I don't care if you're Andre Johnson, you don't want that production on your fantasy team. I look for it to happen again this year. I mean, Asomugha gave up 1 touchdown this season. He didn't give up any last year. I don't look for him to give up another one. I don't care if it is Andre Johnson. Sit him.
I think that is excellent advice. I'm taking it. All right, BG, wide receiver. The fans need to know who's going to be in their starting lineup. Who's going to be in yours?
Oh, you know who's going to be in mine? Mr. Reggie Wayne against the Seattle Seahawks. I'm looking for him to get at least 10 catches for like 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's Peyton Manning's go-to guy in the Dome in Indy against a weak Seahawks defense. So, I mean, why not go for Reggie Wayne? I mean, that's a guarantee right there.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Who's your second pick?
The second one, I gotta go with Ocho Cinco against the rival Cleveland Browns. Since he scores like 50 points a game against the Browns, so you know Ocho's gonna be a part of it and probably have some new stupid dance in the end zone. So if I were you, I would go with Ocho Cinco on this one. Ocho Cinco muy bien.
All right, you seem pretty confident in those 2 picks. Who are you confident is not going to be in your lineup going into Week 4?
You know what? I mean, any other week I would start him, but this week I'm going to have to sit Marcus Colston against the New York Jets. I think Revis is going to be all over him with Kerry Rhodes helping over there. Drew Brees is going to have to look to hit some screens to Reggie Bush, Pierre Thomas, and throw to his tight end, Shockey. I mean, I just don't see Colston really getting too open against this tough Jets defense. They got a lot of speed. They got a good scheme under Rex Ryan. So I would say Colston this week. I know he's a big target, but I just don't see him getting free from Revis at all.
I agree. I think it could be a big day for the running game in New Orleans.
So, Jacob, who's your go-to guy receiver this week?
Well, I have 2 of them, actually. They're on the same team, and they are the reciprocal of what Mark Fury is doing. He's sitting Andre Johnson. I think that sets up some big opportunities for Jacoby Jones and Kevin Walter of the Houston Texans. Kevin Walter came back last week, 93 yards, a score. Obviously, he's healthy. The double coverage on Johnson going to create some real opportunities. I see a lot of parallels between the Manningham-Smith combination on the Giants to this Jacoby Jones Kevin Walter combination on Houston. I like it. I like Matt Schaub. Those are 2 names that should be in your starting lineup at wide receiver this Sunday.
Oh no, I think Jacoby Ellsbury will get more fantasy points than Jacoby Jones. But Kevin Walter's a good player though.
Well, Jacoby Jones has scored in 2 straight weeks. If Asomugha does shut down Johnson like he did last time, there's going to be plenty of opportunity for Jones coming out of the slot.
I don't like it.
I think each one of them is good for a score. I think the bigger yardage will go to Kevin Walter, but I still think I'm confident those guys should be in your lineup.
So, Jacob, who are you sitting this week at receiver?
I'm going to go ahead and sit Bernard Berrien. I don't see a big game out of Brett Favre. I see a lot of Adrian Peterson. I see a lot of Green Bay defense, and I just don't think that adds up to good things for Bernard Berrien. Had a good run last week, but it ain't going to be good for him this week. Go ahead and sit Bernard Berrien. If you have other options, go with those.
Yeah, I would sit Bernard Berrien. I don't think Favre's going to have a bad game, but I mean, he doesn't seem to really get that chemistry with Berrien yet. He likes to throw it to Harvin, and you know they're going to run the ball with Peterson. So I would sit Berrien too.
Berrien's been inconsistent this year, to say the least.
pretty much.
We got some consensus there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ace Wonder.
What's up?
All right, wide receiver. Who's going to be in your starting lineup this Sunday?
You gotta put Devin Hester in there this week. Going against the Detroit Lions,
I like that
big plays are gonna
confidence.
be there.
I like that confidence.
Punt returns. DH is gonna blow up this week. I think expect a huge game from Devin Hester.
I can definitely see that happening.
I agree.
And at wide receiver, who else do you like?
He was shut out last week for one of the first times in his career. Terrell Owens. He's gonna jump back this week, put up a couple of scores. I think Dick Geron's gonna make sure he gets sort of like a Randy ratio, the thing that Moss had in Minnesota. They're gonna throw the ball to him at least 10, 12 times. He's gonna grab a couple.
So T.O. is the one for you. It's the one for Ace.
Thing
Who
is, I don't
BG?
know. I don't know. I'm not really liking T.O. I think Vontae Davis is gonna shut him down, and then you're gonna hear T.O. bitching in the locker room.
Bottom line is he's a second-tier receiver now. He
He's
had
due.
questionable hands in his prime. He still has questionable hands, even worse now. But he's just not as good as he was.
You could get that big play, but as far as having a big fantasy game, it's too risky to me.
Hey, just because he's T.O. and he makes all that money, they're gonna throw to him. So he's gonna be in some great situations to catch the ball.
I agree with BG on this one. He used to be a Randy Moss. Now he's a Pierre Garcon. If he gives you a big play, it's going to be a good start. But if he doesn't, he's going to give you nothing.
All right, we all have to sit somebody who doesn't have any flair this weekend.
I'm going with everyone else. Sit Bernard Berry. No chemistry with Brett Favre yet. He's been hampered by a hamstring injury. He's not back yet. I mean, you have someone else better than Bernard Berry, and you have to. If you don't, you're gonna be in big trouble this week.
If you don't have someone better than Bernard Berrian, the free agent list does. Go get it.
Yeah.
If you don't have anyone better than Bernard Bear, I think he needs a lot of help right now. To be
Yeah.
honest with you.
The bottom line is he's a guy who has nothing but speed. He's always been one of those straight down the field guys, and he's got a bad hamstring. He's borderline useless. He's droppable right now. You don't even need to keep him on your team.
All right, that's it for the Week 4 wide receiver edition. This has been Beantown Fantasy Football. For BG, Ace Wonder, Mark Fury, I'm the Jaker. Thanks for joining us. Keep watching.